a report from Woj today. So Kyrie has met with Joe Tsai,
Adam.
obviously Adam Silver, and then basically met with everybody. Talked about it, but according to Woj, there is no official like date, like return date for him, and that it's very unlikely that he's supposed to return for the Lakers on Sunday and the Kings on Tuesday. Um, I still don't think he comes back. I really don't. I mean, LeBron made that tweet, which I thought was interesting because LeBron doesn't just tweet
What did he
stuff.
say?
He said, off the top of my head, something along the lines of like, basically, Kyrie needs to play. You know, he basically said, I told you guys where I stood. I still stand by that.
Which I listened to, by the way, and I was like, okay. I was like,
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing much you can say. You know what I mean? I was just surprised because like normally LeBron doesn't like he won't even say anything bad about Russ. I mean, I get that's his teammate, but like I don't know. I think he looks at Kyrie as like a younger brother. But I was even surprised he was that vocal because normally on stuff like this he's a little bit more quiet. But I think
he's
I
trying
think
not
he
to get
kind of had
himself
to because he's LeBron. He's the face of the league. He had to pick a side. There was no like staying quiet because they would have just naturally assumed, oh, those two are friends. He's trying to protect.
Well,
So like,
I don't knock him. A lot of people felt LeBron sold out
no, 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 no,
by
no,
basically throwing Kyrie under the bus.
no. Nah.
I don't really because here's the thing
Nothing
too.
he said. Nothing he said. Like it was strictly facts.
Well,
It was
and
like
there's not a single person on this planet that wouldn't have done what LeBron did. Like you
Well,
got
yeah.
like people forget like LeBron's got a family, kids, a business, a company, a brand,
Multiple
a
businesses.
school.
Yeah.
You know, he's got so much that he needs to protect and preserve that the last thing he needs is to say something stupid, even if he doesn't buy it. Like you got to, you know what I mean? Like, and I do believe he thinks like, you know, like Kyrie should have done that thing, whatever, you know, like whether other people agree or disagree. Like, I don't knock LeBron for saying that. Not just that, but like a lot of it was just general. Like he said what he said in the beginning, you know, Kyrie Irving like that. But the rest of the conversation was just generally like, I don't support this kind of behavior. I don't support this, and this.
Well,
and
yeah,
then,
he said anybody that like hurts, you know, but then he specifically said that and what he did hurt, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily think that like, and I do hear what you're saying, but like LeBron's one of those players like, and he's proven historically that like if he really truly doesn't like, he's not just gonna say what the media wants to hear.
Yeah.
So like, I think that was just his honest opinion, and I was like,
for LeBron,
I respect it.
Yeah. Well, for LeBron to just randomly like this happened like yesterday, I think. For LeBron to just randomly come out and just say, "Hey, I want to just basically say like, look, yeah, I don't agree with what happened, but one, these rules suck." Which a lot of players are coming out and saying, like the Brooklyn Nets and their rules and stuff.
Well, yeah, that whole meet with ministry leader to do all like jump through this hoop and that hoop, and I'm just like, I don't like that.
Another thing that I don't think people notice is that that Jaylen Brown came out against that too, and Jaylen Brown is the vice president of the Players Association. So is Kyrie Irving. So that is huge too. And
well, he came out against the way that they were treating Kyrie, though, right?
Yes. And the Players Association even said that we're not going to let them violate Kyrie's rights as a player. Like, you're not going to do anything like above. Yeah, you want to suspend him, you have the right to suspend him. But they were like, we're not going to let you just make up rules. So, I'm curious if the Brooklyn Nets are going to end up having to just throw that out and just bring Kyrie back, which kind of concerns me too, because they might not even want to bring Kyrie back, but might have to, so they don't get.
But what grounds do they have? Okay, so like, what rules do they have to say like, okay, he can't come back because of this? Like, what did he break? Like, what in the contract did he like? You know what I mean? Like,
broke rules, like things detrimental to the organization. You know, basically they're trying to claim that he basically gave hate speech. You know, like. That's why, like, the media and everyone was, labeling him a bigot.
Do you really have a case for that, though? Like, I don't, like, you know what I mean? Like, how, like,
I mean, to the public perception, yes. But here's the thing, like, so they can suspend him for those 5 days, which is what I was talking about.
Understand that? Yes, they can.
After those 5 days, they're not going to be. Even if they don't pay him, we already saw in the Ben Simmons situation, which was far worse than what Kyrie is doing, right? Because Kyrie didn't make like Ben Simmons just basically told everybody to go F themselves, and I'm not showing up. And like when he did show up to practices, was completely disruptive. I mean, Ben Simmons was like purposely trying to sabotage stuff, and he ended up taking them to court, and he still won and got his money back. So
which was crazy, by the way. But yeah.
But I mean, he's under like he has an obligation, like
Yeah.
and his argument was that like I was dealing with mental health and they weren't working with me, like so that's that. I mean, it is a different situation, but we've already seen on several occasions that like organizations trying not to pay players doesn't work out in their favor. So the Nets are going to have two choices. They're either going to have to buy out Kyrie Irving or they're going to have to play him. And if they play him, then they deserve everything that they get.
Yeah, I mean, but on the not playing and not paying, 9 times out of 10, the public eye is going to be with the player. It depends on what happened. You know what I mean? On this case of Kyrie, it could go one way or the other, just because it's Kyrie at this point. But you know what I mean? So I just, it's a sticky situation.
It makes no sense to just pay him to stay home. Because one, the Brooklyn Nets, they're winning right now without him. They look really good
without him. Which I was gonna bring up next point. Yeah, that last game that they played, like
dude, since Vaughn took over as head coach, they're top 4 defensively in the league. So they're playing defense finally. They're scoring more points. They look like a completely different team.
Because you know what that is? It's a KD ran team.
Yes.
That's why, and that's truly why I think, because so a lot of people always say that KD is not necessarily a leader. He can't necessarily put teams, on his back. I disagree. I do agree that he has not fully had the chance to do something like that. Because you think about it, who is he playing with in OKC? He's playing with Russ. Russ was the primary decision maker. Who is he playing with in Golden State? He's playing with Steph, Clay, and Dre. You know what I mean? So it's like, who was he playing with when he got to Brooklyn? James Harden and like Kyrie Irving. Now he has his own team. So it's like, yes, you got Ben Simmons, but it's Ben Simmons. No disrespect, Ben. But KD is now the primary decision maker. And I love to see it. And I want to see what KD can do. And again, I know it's not KD's team, but like it's KD's team. And I think they're going to start winning some games for sure.
But that's my point. Like, it makes no sense to bring Kyrie back, right? And like, and a lot of people like, because I get comments all the time, people be like, you just want Kyrie to be on the Lakers. And yes, I do. But two things can be correct. Like I can want Kyrie on the Lakers, but I could also want the Brooklyn Nets to do the right thing because it doesn't make sense. Like people always act like, oh, you have to be one or the other. Like, doesn't make like I can say like two facts can still be facts. Just because one reality is a reality doesn't mean that something else can't be a reality. Yeah. And like right now, all signs point to the Nets should not bring back Kyrie Irving. Will they? Maybe. Should they?
Well, at this point, there's probably too much. Like now, we don't know how Kyrie feels about the organization. I mean, rumor talks that he doesn't really want to be there in the first place. But we know the organization doesn't want him, so why are you going to bring him back? You know what I mean? Like, what's the point?
I mean, he's leaving sooner or later. He is. He's not sticking around for long. Like he's like they're going to lose him at some point, whether it's this season.
Oh yeah, I'm not. Yeah,
yeah, or it's next season. So my thing is like, why not save your? And here's the thing, because if you're not going to trade him regardless. So you're going to be in the same boat regardless. Why not save yourself the headache, the money, and something else? Because if you pay him to sit at home, he's providing nothing. He's providing no value for you. But what he can provide,
your investment is just more of a headache at that point. Yeah,
yeah. But what I'm saying is, what he can provide is more of a headache because all of his antics have all came from off the court stuff.
Yeah.
None of his antics are because of basketball related things. The things that he get controversy for, whether it's warranted or not.
Of course. I mean, on the court, he's a normal. Yeah.
So the problem is that even if he's sitting at home and let's say he posts something on Twitter again that people don't like, Guess who has to deal with that? The Brooklyn Nets.
Because he's still attached to the organization.
Yes, because he's still under your organization. So like it just will they bring him back? They might have to, because now the Players Association has stepped in and basically said, no, we're not doing this whole like Kyrie has to do 6 things type rule. So now that Adam Silver has came in, now that the Players Association has came in, they might be forced to play him. That doesn't mean that they're not going to get rid of him and trade him or something like that. But it just they might end up having to play him. Hey, look, if he doesn't play by Tuesday against the Kings, I don't think he plays another game for them. Because why? If you're going to bring him back, why wouldn't you bring him back the first game that he's eligible? Like, why? You know,
yeah.
You know,
I mean, to figure things out, but then it's like, you know what I mean? Like,
so if you don't bring him back against the Lakers, which is the first game that he could come back technically, okay, fine. So you wanted to give him an extra couple days to dwell, sure. But now you have the Kings game, and you don't bring Kyrie back. It's like, okay, well, now that's a 7-game suspension. Like, what are you going to – you going to give him 10, 12, 14? Like, you might as well get rid of him, especially if you keep winning. Like, if they end up beating the Lakers and they end up beating the Kings, now they've won like 6 out of their last like 7 games without Kyrie Irving. Like, why would you want to bring Kyrie back? You've turned your season around. Like,
well, because at that point, I don't think it's about like he can't contribute on the court. I think if they bring him back and they start losing games again, it's just a controversy. That's all it is. As a professional NBA player, it's hard to go out in the court and produce when all that is going around. You know what I mean? Like it's too much.
No, I agree. But next thing is King says trade AD. Look, the problem is like there's just no way to do it this season. Like, because you're not going to get equal value for him. Like, he's still tied with Giannis for overall defensive efficiency in the league. Like, he's still giving you 24 a game. Like, you're not going to get that same production. It just doesn't make sense this year. But in the offseason, if you're the Lakers, I think you got to at least start listening to offers. Even if you don't trade him, at least start listening to offers. Completely agree with you, Tyler. I've noticed Russ and Davis have more chemistry on the court. Yeah, they've been the better duo. They really have. They've been really good. Can you give us your take on LeBron stagnating the offense with the ball holding, where he puts no pressure on the defense? I mean, the take is you shouldn't do that. It's just a low IQ play. I don't know why he does that.
Yeah,
I really don't. Like, he didn't. He started doing that last year because he never really did that. Like, he would hold the ball sometimes and kind of let the play unfold and then make a decision. But like midway point last season was when he really started like holding the ball and then just jacking up a 3 as a shot clock expired, which doesn't make sense. Now, if LeBron is hot, it does, right? If LeBron's shooting the lights out, it makes a lot of sense because you're basically just killing. It's essentially a football play, right? You know, you see teams where they'll run the ball, like, and and slow the game down, to kind of control, the tempo of the game and stuff like that. That's kind of what LeBron's trying to do. But the problem is this season, he's not making shots. And so when you do that, you completely ruin the flow of the offense and you're bailing the defense out. And we've seen time and time again, every single time the ball moves and it doesn't stick, we have an elite offense. Like we've had sorry, go ahead.
No, that's what I was going to say. Why, Mr. High IQ LeBron James, why are you slowing the pace of the ball down? Like you just said, why are you slowing the pace of the ball down when you know we play better on a fast pace, move, screen? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't understand that. Like,
we're number one
in pace,
number one in fast break points. We're we are a fast young team. And
we play better when we're moving. Yes.
Dude, every time we're winning, if you look at like the stat lines, we have like 24 assists on like 27 shot attempts. Like the 2 games we won, we were like 75% in assists to field goal rate. Like that's what you need to win.
Like we're not the Rockets of James Harden. It's not like the slow down ISO basketball. Exactly.
So that's another key.
That's why the reason the Warriors are so successful. A lot of people don't understand that.
So that's
the Spurs when they won with Pop, because what basketball was that all about? Moving the ball around,
Sharing the
not the like
basketball.
the exactly sharing the basketball. The ball didn't really stick. Like you had Ginobili and Parker. Like it was constant like this all day long, and it was fast paced. Run, 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 run. And to your point, our team's young. That's what we can do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like even if LeBron and AD can't necessarily keep up that consistent pace, we still have everyone besides like Pat and we still have almost everybody on the team that is young, and that's all they're
Yeah.
gonna do is just run up and down the court. You know what I mean?
Well, that was something I was going to bring up with the Nets too. Is that another reason the Nets are playing so well without Kyrie Irving is they're not running just ISOs like they were. Like
Yeah.
so, when they had Kyrie Irving, they were running a lot of you go
Yep.
between Durant and Kyrie. Well, now they're actually
And I
moving the
hate that
ball
style
more.
of basketball,
And
by the way. I hate that. I can't stand that style of basketball.
yeah,
Even
they
though
were
Kobe's one of my favorite players of all time,
the isolation. Yeah,
yeah, I can't stand it.
yeah, I mean, and that's the thing, that's the difference. Like before this like little hiatus for Kyrie, they were top 3 in isolations. I don't remember they might have been number 2. But they were up there in isolation plays, and now they're like in like middle of the pack because now they're not running as many ISOs. Which helps, you know.
And I know KD runs a few, but it's not as many.
Well,
And
I
would
mean,
you agree with?
when you have a guy like Kevin Durant, you need to run some ISOs. You know,
Well, yeah,
Kevin Durant's
no.
just such a great. He might be the greatest scorer ever. Like, so you
Yeah,
gotta,
because he can shoot over every like naturally
yeah, because
every
he's
single
7
defender
feet
except for
tall.
maybe like Giannis and like
Yeah,
Joker. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But would you agree with me if I like when I would say that Kobe championship in the 09 and 010, that was a rare. That was really rare, I think, because like they played a style of basketball that like you don't really see teams. You know what I mean? Like it's team sharing basketball that wins championships. You know what I mean? And that
Yeah, but those Lakers team, believe it or not, so in 2010, I believe Kobe averaged like 6 or 7 assists a game. Like it was one
oh,
of
they
his
do right,
high.
yeah.
Like yeah, like the 2 years they won the championship, it was like some of his highest assist years. It was also a different game back then. You know what I mean?
That's true. That's
Um,
true.
Hang on, let me double check because I'm pretty sure he was up there as far as so yeah, so he was 28, 8, and 5. In the finals against the Celtics
Yeah.
in 2010. So yeah, and I believe for the regular season he was at like 6 assists or 5.5, like 5.5
So yeah,
assists, you know, something like that.
for Kobe, that's high.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't see it. Just keeps bringing up the finals. What was he for the year? Yeah, that's the finals again. Anyway, I'm pretty sure he was somewhere around there, like 5 or
Yeah.
6 assists, and yeah. So I mean, and like I said, it was just a different game back then. It's
Yeah.
not the same game it was now. If the Lakers do end up trading LeBron and or AD, what team do you guys see being interested in trading from? See, I think a lot of teams would take Anthony Davis. I don't know. I can't think of one team that would take LeBron James.
Good point. Good point.
Like, I really don't. And it's not that LeBron isn't great. It's just next season, because we can't trade him this season. Next season, he's going to be 39 years old. He's putting up great numbers, but he's showing that he can't be the number one guy anymore. So, and he's not going to want to go to like a Sacramento or something like that where it's a rebuilding team. He's going to want to go to a contending team. What contending team is going to
he
give
wants
up?
to stay in LA. He's not leaving LA.
Like, I don't think he's going to leave LA either. But like, what contending team is going to give up real assets for LeBron James? Like, if you're Cleveland, name me 2 players you would trade for LeBron James. That won't be a free agent next year. You're not trading Mitchell. You're not trading Mobley. You're not trading Allen. You're not trading Garland. You're not trading, like, who are you trading?
Well, none of your starting 5, and at that point, if you're trading the role guys from the bench, it's not gonna.
That's what I said. Like, they don't have, like, and then after Kevin Love is not going to be an expire, is not going to be on the team next year. Same thing with why am I blanking on his name? Their other small forward. Why am I blanking on his name? Anyway, like, they have like 3 or 4 guys that are going to be not on the team next year. So Cleveland makes no sense to trade for LeBron James. Miami, if you're the Lakers, who on Miami would you want other than Tyler Hero? Ooh, let's go. That's the way to start off a game. Walker with the slam.